Hey, everybody. So sorry took so long. I got a cold. I'm coming down with something. And it's cold out here. How's the audio? Can y'all hear me? How's the audio? Those that's in the chat. How's the audio? Peace, peace, peace. Mic check, mic check. Okay. Peace to y'all, family. Thank you, Night Train. I see you, Storm. I can hear clearly. Okay. Yeah, y'all, I got a cold, man. Yesterday, it was so windy and rainy, and I stepped outside a few times with without the gear on, and man, I got this like burning in my sinuses and in my chest. I've been coughing like crazy, but I feel a little better. I've been taking medicine. You know, I ain't going to get no flu shot though. But anyway, let's get into the topic because I can't be too long. I don't got a lot of gas today. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm on a quarter of a tank. This medicine, man. I'm telling you, and this whatever this is, it don't feel like no full on cold or nothing. This just feel like a baby version of swine flu or something. All up in my head, man. All up in my head. But I'm gonna get on to the point. I was just talking to the brother Jabari, and peace to Jabari. Shout out to you, man. I see you still over there lazy as hell and ain't did what I told you to go do. I told Jabari, go clean up your neighborhood, your community. Because there's a reason why all of these sexually deviant men and women are coming out of the comedic community. I told Jabari that. I sent him a text and told him that, and then he sends back, well, he calls himself the Christ. I said, don't try to kick your trash across the fence. That's y'all's trash. Okay? His name is not the Christ. We know that, and he ain't always been that. His name is Nature Boy or Nectar Boy. That's his name. Nectar Boy. And I'll do you one better, Jabari. He also used to call himself Father Tahuti. So now, but that's y'all's trash, man. Don't try to kick your trash across the fence. That's y'all's garbage. Kemet. Brother Sarnetta, that's y'all trash. Netter Boy. Netter Boy is y'all's trash, fam. And I gotta say this. Watch this. There's a weird connection between three of the most sexually deviant men in our cipher as far as what we know. Night Train said I didn't put that together. Yeah. Nature, as relates to the Kemet community, can be equal to nectar. Is nature equals nectar. And that's what all of these fake gods in Kemet, that's what they exude or represent, aspects of nature or aspects of earth or aspects of creation or some other foolishness that they could have told y'all without giving you a papyrus with them, doing autofellatio and stuff. It would have been beautiful for them to teach that. Yeah. But yeah, Nectar Boy. That's what we're going to call Nature Boy from now on. Because that's his real name. That's what he's trying to tell us. Nectar Boy, family. That's his name. Now, Nectar Boy also called himself Father Tahuti. Tahuti is another Kemet monstrosity, excuse me, or Tahuti, whatever you want to call it. So he called himself two examples of what that community exudes. And again, Jabari gonna say, no, he calls himself the Christ. I said, where did the word Christ come from? Because Christ ain't Hebrew. Christ came from a lineage of kings that took over North Africa, namely Kemet, Egypt, upper and lower, called the Ptolemaic dynasty. Oh, shit. Uh-huh. That's where that word Christ actually comes from. The one that you know is Christ. But I'm telling you, they had it messed up. The real Christ in Hebrew is called Mashiach. Mashiach. Yahusha HaMashiach. Yahusha HaMashiach. Not necessarily Christ. Christ is another explosion of Greek. Just like a pimple you squeeze and pop, and it squirt out Greek. And that same Greek, mind you, taught right in Kemet. But the Ptolemaic dynasty came up with that. And your Serapean order. We never worshiped a Christ by that understanding. It was always, as the Hebraic construct says, Ha-Mashiach. Amen. So you can't kick that trash over here on this side of the fence. Nature, Eligio the Christ, Father Tahuti, Netter boy, is y'all's garbage. Y'all Greek Egyptian garbage. Amen. But watch this one. Watch this one. And we're going to teach you a little bit about the Ptolemaic dynasty and what happened to Hebraic culture as relates to linguistics and that text and what we understand to be the Messiah. Why we call him Christ instead of calling him Mashiach, because you can say it in English. You can say Messiah. You can say God's anointed one. You can say the one who's been smeared with the oil of gladness. Praise God. But you don't have to call him Christ. You can, and I'm sure he'd understand. But Nature boy, Netter boy, aka Father Tahuti, is y'all's trash, baby. But guess who else got more trash, man? Kemet. I told you, Jabari, you ain't did what I told you to do in our debate because you've been so mad that I tore your shirt off. I told you to go be a priest in your community. Go be a priest in your community. Go do what works. Go be effective. Go speak truth to power. Do what the book of Isaiah says. Cry loud, spare not. Lift your voice up like a trumpet and declare to not just Jacob and Israel, but declare to the whole black world what's got you in that state. You see, Jabari don't think homosexuality is a part of the decline of the black man and woman. But I'm telling you, it's so prevalent in your community. It's so prevalent. And for a community to be centered around so-called nature or netter, how can you embrace homosexuality, which is a spit in the face of nature, a spit in the face of netter, a spit in the face of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, space-time, understanding of all things, because it's all natural. Not homosexuality. The beauty of the dance with the earth and the moon and how they just move around each other so beautifully. And it creates circumstances that are advantageous for life. You can't tell me that as beautifully as that dance goes, that when I look at that as nature, and then I turn around and I see men with men and women with women doing that which is against not only nature, but against themselves in your community. You can't tell me what you teach or don't teach didn't produce that. Of course, nobody's perfect, but I'm telling you, when you're going against the order of nature and God's order, which is a beautiful coalescing of all mass and matter. Hmm? When you go against that to uphold homosexuality and call that nectar, or call that, I didn't even see that. Huh? Call that, no, that ain't in our community. Hmm? Families and garbage is correct. Night Train said, I bet that they're try, oh man, steer clear of the media power of the LBGT community. Maybe silence from YouTube. I think that they are trying to steer clear of the media. Yeah, man. Listen, they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to rock the boat because if they rock the boat, they might fall out themselves. Because I'm telling you, not only acceptance of a thing to be politically correct is bad, but when you're in it and you act like it's not there and you know it's detriment, oh man, that's a horse of a different color. Because now a person could come and give you anything, just like they do with T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen and whatever. Here's $1,000,000. Look over the fact that I am an open sodomite. Huh? Or on YouTube, they don't want their channels taken down because they don't want to speak against the order of the day, which extended from those Ptolemaic kings and even that wicked root, hallelujah, Antiochus Epiphanes, and his predecessor, even Alexander the Great Big Fag, that set up kingdom in Egypt. Mm-hmm. The order of the day. The order of the day. They don't want to buck against it. I told Jabari in the debate, you have that Aleister Crowley mindset. Do as thou wilt. He comes and says, no, I don't believe in do as thou wilt. I'm not a Crowley follower. And then right almost in the same breath, he says, let them do what they want to do. It don't affect him. My goodness. But watch this, it gets even deeper, family. It gets even deeper. Because not only Netter Boy is their trash, but King Rasumaba is their trash. The first gay comedic LGBTQ shrine. My God. I say, Lord have mercy. Jabari says, if he closes his eyes tight enough, closes his ears, and squeezes his butt cheeks really tight, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. If he clenched off real tight, it doesn't affect him. But it's affecting others in your community. Maybe you're not gay. Maybe you're like Barack Obama. Barack Obama said, well, I'm a heterosexual man. Never mind my wife's shoulders are really wide. And never mind all of those pictures where you see a penis print in my wife's crotch area. Never mind that she looks like Michael Obama. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. But somebody did tell me that's her real name, Michael Obama. But anyway, Barack Obama set up laws in your country that put homosexuals on par on par with heterosexuals in marriage covenants, and it not just put them on par socially and not just religiously and spiritually, but economically. They get the same tax breaks as you, Jabari. Mm-hmm. Same tax breaks for being married. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what they can't do. They can't produce a child and be netter. They can't be netter, natural, nature. Not like that. Mm-mm. You can't. But guess what? They try. And they grow every day in numbers, embed themselves in your community. And Jabari says, if I close my eyes tight enough and I stick my head in this hole up to my neck and I squeeze my ass cheeks real tight, clench off, this homosexuality of King Rasumaba, a gay priest, Kemetic gay priest, and Netter boy, who will have sex with man, woman, and dog. Not only those, Jabari says, if I close my eyes, cover my ears, bury my head, squeeze my ass real tight, and grab my nutsack and cover everything, that I can even ignore King Rasum. I mean, not King Rasumaba, excuse me. These Kemetic faggots give my, I get confused. But Ra King Ptah, y'all remember him? Netter boy, Father Tahuti, King Rasumaba, and now Ra King Ptah. What's he famous for, everybody? The first man I ever seen on YouTube with a name like that, Ra King Ptah, and I'll tell you the caveat later, but Ra King Ptah is the guy that's on this channel where his girlfriend says, not only sitting in his presence and told him on camera, the camera and the light on, he's crying, admitting to everything. Not only said he was paying for sex from white women on Backpage and stuff like that, so he can go naked head with them. Not only that, but the sister said, why is your ass hole hanging out like that? She said, it's hanging out of your whole ass. She said, it's red as a grapefruit. These are quotes. I couldn't make this up. This don't happen in the Israelite community. This only happens in Catholic churches and in the Kemetic community. This kind of stuff. And these kind only come out. You can only conquer these kind and cast them out through fasting and prayer. Believe that. So, this man hears woman, King or Ra King Ptah, his woman, he's cheating on his woman with white women, unprotected, and having anal sex, getting his back blown out. Storm remembers it, see? And so these are babies of Kemet, affecting a lot of people. Rakim Patah had people following him before he took a tumble like Humpty Dumpty. Before the world, his wife said, "Why is your asshole hanging out like that?" Jabari, why is Rakim Patah's asshole hanging out like that? And his name is Rakim Patah. Huh? Let me give you the caveat. Judah Nazareth, I'm going down the list, picking weeds. And peace to you. Picking weeds to show Jabari what's growing in his field. Not only Tare or Darnell is growing amongst the wheat harvest, this boy got bugs, trash, all kind of filth. Guess who is actually teaching comedic science this morning, family? Let's see if our family here can make the connection. What would Judah Nazareth, what would they call Nature Boy with a comedic connotation? What would they say his name is? What would they call Nature Boy? Do you know? Let's give Brother Judah 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the comedic community, they would call him Nectar Boy. You get it, Judah? Nectar Boy. Ain't that what nature symbolizes linguistically with the Medu? The Medu Nectar? Ain't that what they trying to tell us on the papyrus of Tamanu? And this is the creation papyrus? Ignore Geb's long penis trying to have sex with his sister. Ignore the papyrus of Henutawi with Geb trying to eat his own sperm and his penis. Ignore the papyrus of Ani, plate 7, where it says, and here's the caveat I told you that was coming. The brother's name is Ra King Patah. The name for the sun in the Kemetic culture is Re or Ra. But who is in the sun? Working in the book of Ani. Shaka Amos was wrong. He said Atum. Atum is I'm not going to even get into that. But the papyrus of Ani says not Atum, but Osiris giving himself a blowjob because he is the soul of Re. Look at Jabari texting me, y'all. Stop it. Keep your trash on that side of the fence. Huh? He is the soul of Re, with whom he himself copied. Osiris inside of the sun as the power of the sun. Yeah. Sucking his penis. It makes sense now. Oh God, it makes sense. Oh Jesus, it makes sense. Rakim Patah, with his asshole busted out, as his woman said. King Rasumaba, that will sing you into a tantrum. Did y'all see him singing? The brother made up a song for gay men when you having relationship problems. You ought to hear it. You ought to hear this brother or this sister or whatever. What is he, Jabari? You said just let them do what they want. But it's just more and 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 more. Does it stop? The old folk used to tell me, you are what you eat. Oh yeah, they used to say that. Even my mother used to say it. She said, "You are what you eat, Michael. If you watch garbage, you are garbage. Because that's all you're going to produce is garbage." My mother used to tell me, if you eat trash, you're going to be trash and produce trash. If you take in all of the wrong things, what will come out? In the Bible says once again, and it alludes to the fact that it's not what a man has or does on the outward appearance, but it's what is on the inside, how that comes out onto what's outside. What does that mean? What's in you is going to come out of you. Mm-hmm. This is why there is a sudden influx of homosexuals in the last 20 years in the Kemetic culture. Because see, back when Dr. Ben was teaching, Dr. Ben wasn't looking over homosexuality. Mm-mm. Dr. Ben's parents, he comes from a Bible-fearing family, a Torah-following family. Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben would have never looked over the fact that, we do got all this hidden, but we can't look over the fact that these guys are actually trying to live like Geb, like Osiris. Huh? Jabari even lied to us in our debate. He's that desperate. Jabari said, Brother Edwards would rather have you think that humans can actually get into that position. Oh, my sick, manipulative, lying ass friend. Jabari, you know what autofellatio is. It's even a word. It's a word it's a phrase that can be defined. Self-sucking, unicopulation. Woo! Nature on steroids, flipped inside out. Yes, autofellatio. And I know there's a lot of people that don't even know what fellatio means. In our debate, when all of them poor people making a fool of themselves, disagreeing, and then they go back and watch it without the blinders on, they be like, damn, you know what? I look like a goddamn fool out here defending a man sucking his penis and calling that nature. Following that, calling that holy, when you don't produce that way. Neither does God. God produces with a word. And you and that woman produce with a penis inside of a vagina. Nothing about the Kemet nectars mirror you. Why are you following that? And why, when you find out the reason why King Ra King Ptah's butthole is hanging out, as this woman says, and you find out King Ra Sumaba is just a open flaming faggot, and that's ruined by that Kemet stuff. And you got boy that I said will have sex with man, woman, dog. This boy would have sex with a bacteria if he could. If Nature Boy could catch a nut off a protozoo, off of a goddamn single cell organism, he'd do it. Nature Boy would put his penis in a hole in the ground And never mind you, there are cultures in Africa that still do that today. I'm not going to get into that. But wicked. Night Train hit it right on the head. The spirit of that place, the spirit of that lifestyle, the spirit of those documents is what is all over the people, smeared on them, like that Greek depiction of the word Christ, but didn't come from Semitic origins as Yahusha HaMashiach or Yahusha HaMashiach or even Eshu HaMashiach. No Christ in the ancient Hebrew construct, but right during the Ptolemaic dynasty and the Serapian order and Alexander the Great Big Fag and Antiochus the Wicked Root that believed the same thing that Aleister Crowley believed in. Do what the fuck you want to do, even on the altar of the Most High. Mm-hmm. All comes from the cabal of bullshit that Jabari still teaches today. You wonder why you got the spirit of Alexander on you. You wonder why you got the spirit of Ptolemy Philadelphus on you. You wonder why you got the spirit of Antiochus on you. You wonder why you got the spirit of Ra, King Ptah, and King Ra Sumabai, and Father Tahuti, aka Nature Boy, aka Nectar Boy. Not a Christ, because Christ descended from, again, your Greek bullshit. But Christ is not the same linguistic root as Hamashiach or even Messiah in English. So don't try to kick your trash over the fence. That's y'all's garbage, jabroni. And yes, I called him jabroni. I'm feeling sick, y'all. I can't laugh too loud because I've been taking medicine and my chest hurt. And I got this sinus issue. I want to laugh so goddamn bad. Jabroni. Yes, Jabroni's info is trash because I told him this is very important. It's so important that you stop this in your own community, Jabroni. Because children must be reared. And if not for nothing, we're not asking these faggots to go and have heterosexual sex. But we don't want them to affect the next generation and have them think that it's okay to spit in the face of nectar or nature. That which is created by the awesome hand and power and words and works of the awesome, immutable God. It don't affect you. But what about when you have a child and he goes to school and maybe the child don't become gay like Barack Obama? He'll just fight for your right to be gay. Why? Because somebody fucked Barack's head up. And somebody might fuck the children's head up. I told you, there is no way for homosexuals to reproduce. But ain't it amazing that they're beating all odds, continuing reproducing in numbers in their community? How do they do that? They do it through proselytization. They do it through gay evangelism. So maybe they're not creating gay babies, but they will get your baby. And if they can't get your baby, they will create that sympathetic attitude in your baby, which is all food for that cancerous genetic malady called homosexuality, the mind and the demon. Listen to me, y'all. I'm going to close on this one. Jabari, if you don't speak truth to power, you cannot be a priest. If you want to continue being a quiet, silent priest like Aleister Crowley, so quiet that the world and the earth begin to groan to get you out of the earth. If you want to be that kind of priest, please only represent Egypt. Don't represent Africa. Don't represent Canaan or Africa. Please don't represent Africa, because Egypt, again, let me give you some more quick facts before we go. How many of y'all have ever heard these dummies tell you to get a DNA test? If you're a Hebrew Israelite, prove it. But Shaka walks around with a large lock on his head, and you can't tell him he was an Egyptian. He's not an Egyptian. You can't tell him. But what does it mean to be Egyptian? What is an Egyptian? What is an Egyptian? All of those dynasties. Almost no recordation of the lives of the common people, other than people that went there, like Herodotus. Herodotus walked down the streets of Kemet and see him having sex with goats. Couldn't go up in the palace though. But that duality, the poor people, the ignorant, even like Annie. And we got the priesthood. Brother Jabari, how are you to sit over a people that you have no connection to, even in the sense that you won't even tell them right from wrong? But I think that's the same dynamic that was going on then. I think so. Do what you want. Do what you will. And when somebody asks you about it, lie about it. Make something up. Ignore it. But I say you should be well understanding why I keep telling you this, to sweep around your front door, man, in your community. Go down the streets and sweep. How many more years are y'all going to breed homosexuals through proselytization of Egyptology? How long are y'all going to continue breeding homosexuals over there and infecting everybody else like you got measles or whatever before you see the truth? Are they going to have to be 20 Rakim Patas on camera and his girlfriend telling him, what is your booty hole doing hanging out like that? It's red as a grapefruit. Are we going to have more King Rasumabas with not just his gay Kemetic temple, but 100 of them? What about Nature Boy, Nectar Boy, Father Tahuti, the North African Ptolemaic dynasty Christ? What are you going to do? Red is a grapefruit, Brother Judah. It's on this channel. All of these are Jabari and them babies. Now I'm about to get out of here because Jabari texting and all this craziness. He finna start cussing in a minute. Who in the hell in their right mind would want to align themselves with Pharaoh? Exactly. And did you know Pharaoh and all of the nice suits, they hated the people. Not only, did they hate the people that remained pretty much a dominant set of what the Sudan and Nubia was ethnically and genetically, but those dynasties that switched and changed and became white, you got goddamn Mexicans dynasties down there in Kemet. Don't you know everybody ruled except the Mexicans? And then you get all of this stuff going on, separating the common people, the black people, the Africans of that place, ruled by people that keep coming in over and over. All kind of dynasties and kings and queens and butch lesbians like Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut, a lesbian. She ain't a netter. It's a woman. She's a dead Egyptian. A lesbian. Hatshepsut. Butch Hatshepsut. That's what we ought to name Jabari. Butch Hatshepsut. You want your name? That's your new name, Jabari. Your new name is Butch Hatshepsut, not Jabari Osazi. Butch Hatshepsut. Homosexuals everywhere in Kemet. But again, Kemet is not Africa. Look next door in Ethiopia. Did the Ethiopians get routed and ran through every 200 years? Every 70 years? No. Even into the modern times, Ethiopia fought for its independence until it became too stupid itself and committed suicide and split its own consciousness and became Ethiopia and Eritrea. Why couldn't Kemet do that? At least hold out to the modern times. What is it to be an Egyptian? What does it mean to be an Egyptian? Who are the Egyptians? They definitely not the common people in the street and in the graves in Kemet. The Egyptians are only the kings and queens and their families. Those people living in the Nile Valley are goddamn nobodies in history because nobody gave a damn about them. Jabari still don't care. I said the inhabitants of the Nile Valley, nobody gave a damn about who they are and still don't, because Jabari never talks about Ani. He only talks about Geb. How many of y'all had anybody teach you who the Book of the Dead was written for, what his name was, what he believed, where he lived, who was his mother, who was his father? And you think you know what you believe, asking us about DNA, but you're playing with demons, death, homosexuality, soul death. Who are the Egyptians? A bunch of fags from every nation that came parading and warring around the world and wanted to go sit on the throne in Kemet because it's made with a dildo in the seat. The common people had no hope, and nobody gave a damn about who lived in Kemet. Jabari don't. He don't even care about the gays in Kemet. Listen, when we was doing Kemet on trial and we found all of those graves with 10, 20,000 cats in it, dead cats, mummified cats, none of them Kemet people say, you know what? Who did these cats belong to? Can we find a corresponding grave with the cat? Because without that, it just looks like you're enamored with relics. You don't care who the fucking cat was, who the owner was. You just care about the nasty, disgusting relic with a 2,000-year-old cat in a coffin. Don't want to know who little meow meow belonged to. But let the pharaohs have a cat. They build a goddamn pyramid on the backs of the common people of the Nile Valley for a cat to have a burial spot. That's how oppressive the Egyptians are. That's how unsocial they were. The Egyptians. Who were the Egyptians? Definitely not the people of the Nile Valley. But the Egyptians were the ruling class that happened to be any goddamn race of people that was bad enough to go in and fight against the power of homosexuality or be homosexual like Alexander, and you fit right in. Yes. That's why the Romans and the Greeks, during the Roman period in Kemet, boy, they went crazy with changing the image of the Most High into the images of birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. The image of God, not only the raw image, God is a spirit, but the spirit of man, the mind of man, being changed from its uncorruptible nature, being like God, to being like the Roman period. A man with a goddamn dog head. And you wonder why your sexuality is confused. You got a man with a dog head symbol in your hand, and you walking around with that. Maybe it's on a walking cane. What does that mean to you, and how does that relate to you? You're the apex. You're not a fucking dog or a dog man. How does that relate to you? I said it don't. And the more that it does not relate to you should be your litmus test of when I need to throw this shit down. What am I here reading about autofellatio for? Look, God is dog, damn it. You're dyslexic now. Because in order for the word God to mean dog, you have to rearrange the letters. God means what it means in its English context, and even personally in that context. And dog is an animal. You're dyslexic? When does God mean dog? When does it read that way? Only when you flip it. And when does your sexuality in Kemet read that way? Only when you fuck with it. Only when you flip it. inside out, upside down. And Jabari says, just let them do what they want. Do as thou wilt. Watch this. We're going to close the same way we came in. Jabari says that if he closes his eyes, plugs his ears, squeezes his butt cheeks really tight, clench, then none of this even exists. What a priest. Now, family, it's been real talking to y'all. You got the homosexuals come in. When they come in, it's time to go, y'all. It's time to go. Because these are some of the unrepentant ones. I minister to some of these devils. Tell them God ain't going to kill you right now, but he'll probably kill you later. So, Brother Jabari, get up off your knees. Because you're no better than King Rasumaba or Rakim Patah or Nettaboy. Why do I say that? Because they all say the same thing. Don't judge me. Do what thy wilt. That's what that hand symbol means. This means I don't want no vagina. Do what thou wilt. Do as you wanna. Top or bottom. That's right, Brother Judah. Why? Because they have changed the image of God into the likeness of corruptible flesh and beasts, and have traded their sexuality to do what is unseemly. Men with men, women with women, and receiving in their flesh the very recompense or the reward for their deeds. Romans chapter 1, verse 22 through the end, and the whole Tanakh. That claps hands like an audience. Nowhere in the Bible does it condone homosexuality. And it speaks against it because we understand that your sexuality is the most prime thing in this dimension outside of the molecular structure for water. Be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth. Man, you caught the end. I got the brother walking around with the offering plate. Peace to the brother James. Yeah, peace to my brother. Yeah, we taking up the offering now, man. So love you, man. Love you, brother James. Peace to y'all, man. And y'all, thank y'all for coming. And like I said, man, I'm a little sick. Got a cold. But I bet you this cold won't have me down for longer than 48 hours. Bet. Yes, it destroyed Kemet. Destroyed it. Even destroyed some of the families and dynasties. That's what I'm saying. When I said the name Hatshepsut, I want y'all to go and research Hatshepsut and why they done scribbled all over Hatshepsut's name in history and on her graves, and they lying about her and all of this stuff. what she used to wear and how she used to be. You got to check it out. A lesbian. Hatshepsut. Yeah, that's what I said. We're going to change Jabari's name to Butch Hatshepsut. BH. Butch Hatshepsut. Butch Hatshepsut. Ooh. Yes, sir. Thank you, my brother Judah. Yes, I'm just a little sick, family. So I'm gonna go take care of that, and I'm gonna take my brother's advice. So y'all, please, please speak truth to power.